Good morning, it's Jonathan Barratt with the morning debrief. It's Thursday, June the 24th, and what's going to probably create a little bit of history this morning, obviously, with what's happening with Gillard and Rudd in the current government. It looks like that Gillard will replace current Prime Minister Rudd. As a result of that, as a result of the failings of the government over the last couple of months, really. To perform. I mean, we had concerns there of the ETS system, which was shelved, home insulation package problem, and of course the super tax, which seems to be very unpopular. It seems to me to be a quick, fast track for Labor to regain government. Gillard will probably call an early election as a result of that, whilst they retain votes. And I think the coalition, this is probably their worst nightmare in terms of regaining control. How did that really affect the market last night? Australian stocks are under pressure in the US, but we did see a good recovery. Rio at one stage, as an example, was down 3%, recovered to only be down 1%, 1.6%. That was in the wake of some pretty negative data. Some pretty negative housing data came down. Housing data was actually down 33% on a per annum number, and that's quite negative. Result of that, obviously, everything came a little bit under pressure. Let's just have a look at some of the closes now. Here we can see, and just coming up now. Obviously, the Dow was up only small, up 4.92%, 10,298. The S&P was down 3, the Nasdaq was down 7, and looking at sort of what happened in Europe as well. Stoke was down 41, the DAX was down 64, and the CAC was down 63. Relatively negative in that side of the world. However, even though we sort of had FOMC meeting last night, they kept rates unchanged and said that the market was less supportive of economic growth. It's still that big question we've got on economic growth, so let's see what occurs there. I think monetary policy will remain relatively weak to support it, particularly as the stimulus packages are unwound. So quite important on that side. As I said, housing starts were pretty negative there. The Dow was off a little bit. The local market in itself, it'd be quite interesting, as we know how it will close, but it was just up a fraction, up 6.4 points. But I think on that change, the market would see that as being relatively positive. Okay, let's have a look at some of the markets now. We normally start with the dollar index. 87.42 for that Aussie, but the dollar index in itself came under quite a lot of pressure towards the close there. And as you can see, failed attempt there, and that could be a trend resuming for the US dollar to go lower, which will be supportive of some of our other trades. We're still long the Aussie and the Euro, and there's the Aussie trade there. And we are long, and our stop's actually going to go in there at 86.50. We're long from way down here at 82. So we're going to put those stops up just to protect some profits, just in case something happens. Same with the Euro, quite a bit of a bounce there in the Euro, 123.10. That's quite supportive there, and quite a good move there. And I think once again we can put our stops below that area now, and probably look even to trade with a break to that high there. And I think that's relatively supportive. So we're quite happy on those fronts. Let's just have a quick look at that daily chart now. A little mix there, but let's run with that anyway. Okay, what happened with gold? Gold 1237, relatively stable there, right at the top. I'm still a bit concerned about the strength of this rally. We had to go going long. I'm sort of a little bit mixed, and probably going to be reserved on my view on that because it's I'm not 100% convinced yet. Crude took a bit of a slight dip, 76.10. For those that are in the know, we took profits at 77.10 the other day. That was last Friday. Quite happy to be out of that trade at the moment, and expect things to be a little bit negative there. Probably see it come down just a fraction before it goes higher. So if anything there, just coming back just a touch there, and expect that to remain relatively weak. Copper steady in a range, but the lower end at 294. Local market. That's the commodities and things. Local market there coming under pressure, but I think with what's happening this morning, probably fine, we'll get a little bit of support for it. Let's see how that unfolds. Could be quite interesting. Corns and the wheat's all pretty steady there, and soybeans all steady. Soybean we're long, as we know. Still like that trade and expect it to break out quite explosively pretty soon, so stick with it. On the sugar trades, we're still along there. Not really happy with the way this actually unfolded last night, and we are long, and I'm just sort of being all that and coming down. It's a bit of a concern for me because that could put an intermediate top in place for it. I'll be very close on that and might even cut the positions. Right, so that's a bit on that. Let's have a quick look at the economic calendar. Then we'll move on. And economic calendar due out. What have we got? Quickly. There we go. Durable goods orders, very important. RPX composite, very important. Trade balance in New Zealand. And we've got CPI in Tokyo, in Japan, so that's going to be quite important. I guess the key is going to be durable goods orders in the States tonight. See exactly what's occurring with the economies at the moment. We all know they're looking softer. We've had that injection from China in terms of a revaluation in the yuan. Let's see what durable goods orders do. And if they're relatively positive, then we could see this rally commence. If they're not, people will start to think that the economies are slowing again. So stay close to that. Let's see what happens, and happy trading.